In his address proclaiming the Jubilee of Mercy, Pope Francis affirms that justice is not limited to the application of the law, but continues its path towards love and conversion. He wants us to see the importance of justice for civil society. It would not be out of place at this point to recall the relationship between justice and mercy. These are not two contradictory realities, but two dimensions of a single reality that unfolds progressively until it culminates in the fullness of love. Justice is a fundamental concept for civil society, which is meant to be governed by the rule of law. Justice is also understood as that which is rightly due to each individual. In the Bible, there are many references to divine justice and to God as judge. In these passages, justice is understood as the full observance of the law. Such a vision, however, has not infrequently led to legalism, which obscures the profound value of justice. To overcome this legalistic perspective, we need to recall that in sacred scripture, justice is conceived essentially as the faithful abandonment of oneself to God. Pope Francis reminds us that the model for justice is Jesus Christ, which exceeds the law that divides people into two categories, the righteous and sinners. He states, for his part, Jesus speaks several times of the importance of faith over and above the observance of the law. It is in this sense that we must understand his words when reclining at table with Matthew and other tax collectors and sinners. He says to the Pharisees, "Go and learn the meaning of I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I have come not to call the righteous, but sinners." Faced with a vision of justice as the mere observance of the law that judges people by dividing them into two groups, the just and sinners, Jesus is bent on revealing the great gift of mercy that searches out sinners and offers them pardon and salvation. One can see why Jesus was rejected by the Pharisees and the other teachers of the law. In an attempt to remain faithful to the law, they merely placed burdens on the shoulders of others and undermined the Father's mercy. However, Jesus' vision of mercy was liberating and a source of new life. Pope Francis reminds us, the appeal to a faithful observance of the law must not prevent attention from being given to matters that touch upon the dignity of the person. For it is loyalty that I desire, not sacrifice. The appeal Jesus makes to the text from the book of the prophet Hosea, I desire loyalty and not sacrifice, is important in this regard. Jesus affirms that the rule of life for his disciples must place mercy at the center, as he himself demonstrated by sharing meals with sinners. Mercy, once again, is revealed as a fundamental aspect of Jesus' mission. This is truly challenging to his hearers, who would draw the line at a formal respect for the law. Jesus, on the other hand, goes beyond the law. The company he keeps with those the law considers sinners makes us realize the depth of his mercy. Justice alone is not enough. If God limited himself to only justice, he would cease to be God, and would instead be like human beings who ask merely that the law be respected. This is why God goes beyond justice and speaks of his mercy and forgiveness. God does not deny justice. He rather envelops it and surpasses it with an even greater event in which we experience love as the foundation of true justice. In his apostolic letter, Pope Francis reminds us, mercy is not opposed to justice, but rather expresses God's way of reaching out to the sinner, offering him a new chance to look at himself, convert, and believe. According to Pope Francis, God's forgiveness knows no bounds. In the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, God makes even more evident his love and its power to destroy all human sin. Reconciliation with God is made possible through the Paschal mystery and the mediation of the Church. Thus, God is always ready to forgive, and he never tires of forgiving in ways that are continually new and surprising.